सबसे पहले वो 1000 डेज चाहिए. कोई भी धंधा सेट करने के लिए 1000 डेज का कमिटमेंट चाहिए. फुल टाइम धंधे पार्ट टाइम नहीं बनते.
Biggest part is whenever a manufacturer comes on board and decides to kind of come out with a very innovative product, I think the biggest question is मैं बना तो लूंगा, मैं बेचूंगा कैसे?
You know, the issue is not that the product किसने बनाया. The issue is, you know, I love to say that any innovation is just an invention till it's commercialized. If men can stand in P and hence it's not an issue. For women also, if we can make something, it'll make life so much simpler and better. पर तब भी नहीं पता था मुझे कि you know this is a business. I thought I would love to solve it because ये होना चाहिए. I was still trying to find what is going to be my career, and the reason why we exist is because women face a lot of unaddressed issues in the hygiene space, right from puberty to menopause. सोचो आप दाग अच्छे हैं, national campaign है, पर आज भी periods 10 के लिए कोई product नहीं है इंडिया में. For the biggest validation for any idea is the sales.
Sales is very important, right? Till you see your first sale, you don't know whether you've made a huge mistake. You don't know whether it's going to work out. And those numbers need to keep growing. So I believe that numbers, not for the balance sheet, the numbers need to grow for the founder more.
You have warehouses. Tomorrow, if there's a fire, you're over.
देखी जाएगी is a huge problem in India, right? You look at anything else.
मैं आपको बताता हूँ, चैलेंज लोगों को पता नहीं है. वेयरहाउस में कारपेट बनाए, आ रहा है रास्ते में, ट्रक के एक्सीडेंट नहीं होते हैं. मैंने ट्रक जलते हुए देखे. ओनली जॉब इज टू de-risk, right? As a founder, what would strategies do? At least I can look at myself in the mirror and say, yes, I sold it for money, but it wasn't money alone.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Tarun Mathur, and today I'm again back with BuiltInBharat, our podcast with founders, really, really good founders, I promise you. And with that, I have today Deep Bajaj, a very, very good friend, a gym buddy, so to speak, and a lot of similarities in our lives. And I want to go through this podcast with a lot of interest because we just started talking now. We haven't spoken so much, and we've found a lot of connections. So welcome to this podcast, Deep, and one of many I know, but you're a star, so you know we like having you on board.
Come on, so you want me to go out right now?
No. You can, मतलब थोड़ा रुक के.
Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure.
Did I announce your name properly? I have Deep Bajaj, who is the refounder at Sirona. You set up Sirona, then you sold Sirona, then you bought it back. पूरी कहानी बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है. I'm sure there's a lot meat.
इंटरेस्टिंग बाहर से है, अंदर से उतनी इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं है. But हाँ, refounder as a term was given by my team only. So क्योंकि we started Sirona, me and Mohit, and तो उस वक्त founder co-founders थे, तो founder co-founder बन गए. फिर we of course we exited a couple of years ago. So when the opportunity presented itself to buy it back, so I was calling myself again co-founder only. So there's a colleague of mine, co-team member Anika. She said, "No, now we are hiring you back, so you are refounders. So you're founding the company again."
Brilliant.
So that's where refounder came from. And journey-wise, कहाँ से शुरू करूँ यार? बहुत
Let's start from the very beginning. Right? See, your products are very unique. They're very innovative. Sirona is a femtech company which is doing well, and you know, in the sense that, like, I have a daughter, right? And I remember when we first met, and you know, we introduced ourselves, and you sent a kit back home, right?
Yeah.
Needless to say, when my daughter saw it, she was very curious. She's like, "What is this?" Now she's still 12, so
Correct.
I really couldn't talk about it much because you know it's not something we openly talked about, and it got me thinking that maybe every father goes through this.
Correct.
Maybe there is a way one has to explain it. And I told her that you know there was a time when we were traveling, and I remember we were going to Gorakhpur, so my wife belongs there, and you know how kids are, right?
Correct.
We will tell them go to the Lunao, right? Now, before we start the drive.
Correct.
So we start from Gurgaon and we're about 1 hour away and we've just reached Noida and she has to go.
Correct.
Right? Because obviously she was not going to listen to the parents. And then we had to do all the little, you know, the whole parade.
Correct.
यहाँ जाएंगे, ये गाड़ी सामने खड़ी होगी, पीछे पेड़ के बीच में. And then when I saw that product, I thought that if I had thought of this,
Correct.
and if I knew about this, would I have it?
Yeah.
And 100%. So you know, this it's and I don't know how unique it is. You know, you probably know it better.
Correct.
But for me, it's genuine innovation. So when you say that you're a femtech, I get it. But let's start from the very beginning, right? How did you come across it? Where was the problem? How do you identify it?
2006 to 2010, tak I was in events. So I used to do these concerts, fashion shows, whatever, for corporates. And 2010, I exited that business. So 11 to 14, got into handmade carpets. My wife is a carpet designer. She makes customized handmade carpets for high-end residences and hotels. And then a couple of things. And I decided to pursue what is today known as Sirona, 2016 onwards. While the idea for our flagship product, Peabody, was born in 2013. Now, the reason why I took you through these three small journeys was, when we were in events and we used to organize concerts, one of the things which became very difficult in large concerts was maintaining these portable toilets. So I had seen that. 11 to 14, I was into carpets. I was the de facto telecaller for my wife's business. So when I had to travel, we were expecting our first child and we had a miscarriage. I'd seen what UTI can do for women. I remember traveling during my wife's last trimester. And, back then we couldn't even afford to upgrade and all the things that are available today, touchwood, were not available. And we still managed to upgrade her flight from here to Dubai because she had to be there for that meeting. She was the principal designer. She had to be there. But still the toilet, she went to the washroom, she came back, she said, it's a mess, because you're just one bad man away from a bad toilet experience,
absolutely.
So I had seen that. And then my mom had arthritis in her knees. ये तीन चीजें आप देखिए प्रोफेशनल पर्सनल था तो
Yeah.
so 2013 on a road trip I was just joking around like this only and I said God loved men more, we are 4 couples. तो फ्रेंड की एक वाइफ ने मुझे बोला कि she had seen someone use a contraption to stand in pee in Europe. So when she said it, I think for me the realm of possibilities, I mean it's only in hindsight that I can say this, but यही हुआ होगा ना कुछ क्योंकि बहुत सारे और jokes भी क्रैक किए गए होंगे उस ट्रिप पे. I think opened because I thought यार आज से पहले the only solution was finding a clean toilet. But if men can stand in pee and hence it's not an issue for women also, if we can make something, it'll make life so much simpler and better. So from there, Peabody was born. Using all this professional and personal backgrounds in mind, I thought I would love to do something about it. I came back, did my research, realized I'm not the only Einstein to have thought about it. The first patent for female urination device goes back to 1919. 1919. But then again, I asked myself that, the issue is not that the product किसने बनाया. The issue is, I love to say that any innovation is just an invention till it's commercialized.
Yes.
So this country needs it the most. हमारे यहाँ पे आज क्यों इन्वर्टर सबसे ज़्यादा यहाँ बिकते हैं? बिकॉज बिजली यहाँ जाती है, सो यहाँ पे टॉयलेट्स का इशू बहुत बड़ा है. एंड देन व्हेन यू गेट दैट वाज अजम्पशन, देन आई रियलाइज टॉयलेट्स हर जगह गंदे हैं लड़कियों के लिए, कहीं भी साफ नहीं मिलते हैं. यू कैन ट्रैवल एनीवेयर इन द वर्ल्ड.
Yes.
So I thought I'd still continue my journey. Shape हमारी unique थी, so I got a design patent. And from there, the introduction to this Sirona, and the reason why we exist is because women face a lot of unaddressed issues in the hygiene space, right from puberty to menopause. And after that, we just started talking to women, and they shared all these other issues that they're facing. So we made a list. Periods में क्या problem है, sexual wellness में क्या problem है, toilets में क्या problem है. करते करते बन गई कंपनी यार.
And how did you choose distribution? Did you say that you just go direct? You went through websites. What, like, when you set it up, I think the biggest part is whenever a manufacturer comes on board and decides to kind of come out with a very innovative product, I think the biggest question is, मैं बना तो लूंगा, मैं बेचूंगा कैसे? And did you have something in mind already, or were you also on the same path कि पहले मैं बनाऊंगा उसके बाद बिक तो जाएगा ही? What was the thinking then, and what did you eventually kind of turn up doing?
Yeah, I think it was, if you see, when the idea for the first product came in, I still didn't know that's going to be a business. That's why I said, idea for Peabody came in 2013. We got it in 2014, I got a design patent. 15, we registered the company. But in all honesty, and I've not shared it earlier, but I didn't know for the first 3 years it's a business. So कभी उस लेंस से नहीं सोचा कैसे बेचेंगे. बाद में आया कि यार how do we sell it. पहले तो ये था कि it is a very big need and it needs to be here. But once it came about, then first couple of years, I think 2015 से अगर मैं बोलूँ, when we registered the company in 16, when I finally, because my brother managed for the first year, when I finally decided that I'll exit everything else and do this only, then I think how we went about is, again, hindsight is 2020, but I must have seen all this ना कि यार online बेच सकते हैं, offline बेच सकते हैं. Online तब आ ही रहा था. Offline में there was a lot of cynicism around this product because ये category exist नहीं करती थी. It's like in your case, how buying insurance online, मैंने बेचा हुआ है, so I know, was not a thing, right?
Yeah.
So how it must have been for you initially to convince those first few set to buy online. For us also, it was the challenge was to convince people offline to buy it. So categories नहीं थी. So luckily for us, we stumbled upon online. Early on, we had hired this intern. पैसे नहीं थे, तो उसने बोला सर आप Amazon पे लिस्ट कर दो. तो मैंने से बोला ठीक है यार तू कर ले. We'll know. His name was Ashwani. By the way, that's how he joined.
Yeah.
He still is with us now with another company where I'm invested.
Yeah.
But he's the one who started. And there were early signs. Then we figured out अगर इस पे यहाँ से ज़्यादा बेचना तो क्या करो, तो एक आध वीडियो बनाया. Luckily for us, some couple of videos went viral. So all of a sudden, जहाँ महीने में 400 यूनिट बेचते थे, वो एक दिन में 400 यूनिट बिकने लग गए Amazon से. And then online became the thing where I thought यार यहाँ से बेच सकते हैं, कस्टमर है. So मेरा काम सिंपल हो गया. मुझे सिर्फ अवेयरनेस पे काम करना है. The entire logistics, the entire supply chain is taken care by Amazon or Flipkart at that time.
Wow. Yeah, and I think sales is very important, right? Till you see your first sale, you don't know whether you've made a huge mistake.
Correct.
You don't know whether it's going to work out. And those numbers need to keep growing. So I believe that numbers, not for the balance sheet, the numbers need to grow for the founder more.
Correct.
Because there's only one endorsement of your idea, which is if the customer is buying.
Correct.
And I remember the early days of Policybazaar, right? And this is my favorite story to tell. So we thought that, like all of the founders, right? That we will set up this website.
Line lag jayegi.
मतलब line लग जाएगी, लोग आएंगे खरीदेंगे और हम billionaire बन जाएंगे. Very easy
I've
idea.
been there, yeah.
And then people would come, because you would market for them and you get them from your paid campaigns, etc. वो आते थे, खरीदते नहीं थे.
Correct.
तो हमें लगता था कि हमने कितनी बड़ी गलती कर दी, right? We spent a year developing something that doesn't work. And when it does start to work and when the numbers start moving,
correct.
I even in today's terms, I can't find that kind of joy in anything that I've done today. And life has gone through a lot, right? For me, 17 years. But that joy of just seeing those numbers move month on month is, I think that's really the endorsement, right? I think nothing else really beats it. But where is it today now? Now, so you said you in between that you left. What was the reason for leaving? I know, and I have read your this thing, but a lot of people don't know. So, but what goes through you then? And I want to, I understand, of course, while you will also kind of for the viewers narrate what happened. But what was the logical side and the emotional side of that transaction?
No, correct. So both the things I agree. First, of course, there is no bigger validation than sales. हमारे केस में तो बहुत gradual था यार. Because we didn't start with money, so there's no funding.
Yeah.
So शुरू में वो list बनाई कहाँ बेच सकते हैं, and we went to all local dukaan, modern trade outlet, and then online started selling. But I was from events, so I remember writing hundreds of emails, hundreds if not less, because my thesis was I have experienced it during my event era कि यार toilets become an issue. But then again, if you see normal routine में जब आप checklist बनाते हो, if you have to host people together, there are only about 15-20 items only checklist के हिसाब से बनाते हो. I was the 21st item, so it took so much time to convince those guys. Yeah. But the first joy for us was Standard Chartered Bombay Marathon. They are the ones, the CEO Dilip, what DJ was his name, and he reached out to me on one of those bulk emails. And this is the time 2017 when we were almost at a place where like यार मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, because there are things that I know how to sell, and there is this product. I know the need. I see it as a I can't use it, but I know as a buyer of it, as a buyer for my maybe daughter, or as somebody who's seen my wife go through this, that it's a need. But still people are not buying. There was that phase when this first order came for 10,000 P-Buddies then. So what he did, he gave it to P-Buddy. He gave one P-Buddy to every runner outside the washroom. And from there, then Airtel Delhi marathons and other marathons followed. So absolutely agree, man, that for the biggest validation for any idea is the sales. And it has to move the needle. I have to tell my founder friends, whatever little investments I've made, that sale has to be, is the only truth.
Yeah.
Now on your part. So what happened, the reason to exit and then to buy it back. So 2017, we raised a small angel round from Indian Angel Network. But still, it was a small round. Because what were we trying to do? If you see now, 2017, we are talking about quick commerce thing hai. It's not, online is not how it is today. Yeah. Transactions online itni aasani se hoti nahi hai. And there was this company which had 2.5 products. ठीक है? 2.5 products ही sub concept products हैं. What women standing and peeing. So they took a punt. But they took a punt, and it was a small $500,000 check that we did back then. But it took us on, it at least got the confidence in the team, the small 5-10 people that we were, that there are people who outside us also believe in it. Yes, there were consumers who were coming in, but now we can build. So we started building. And what I had built till then was a company that was known for innovations, but it was a small scale, because now if you want mass adoption of any of these products that we've created, you need large budgets to take it on television. राइट
Yeah.
यू नीड टू मेक इट अवेलेबल ऑफलाइन. अब ऑफलाइन के लिए पैसे चाहिए क्योंकि ऑनलाइन के केस में तो एंड वी वर बिल्डिंग इट प्रॉफिटेबली. आवर थीसिस वाज कि यार लॉस होते ही द कंट्रोल गोज टू समबडी एल्स. इफ टुमारो यू डोंट फंड मी द कंपनी शट्स डाउन.
Yeah.
तो अनदर थिंग दैट आई बिलीव इन इज यार कि धंधे प्रॉफिटेबली चलाएं तो अच्छा है. मुश्किल हो जाता है यार मतलब क्योंकि लॉस में कंट्रोल गोज आउट. सो व्हेन दिस ऑफर केम इन, our options were that we keep building what we're building at a similar pace, or we partner with somebody who's bigger and say, can you really help us take it offline? And you should have a lot of muscles. And the deal was also very interesting because, Darpan said that, we could, the founder of the Good Glam, that we can run the business for 2 years. So what we were getting was, if I divide it in the 4 quadrants that I believe in, there is customers, there is your team, there is the investors and the founders. So in customers, I was seeing that, these guys, it's a unicorn company. They had one of the best investors that I've heard of. They're A-listers on the cap table.
Yeah.
These guys will be able to take the products from marketplaces to offline. So it was a check.
Yeah.
We were doing great work. So it was customers were winning because they were getting more products and they were also getting it offline.
Yeah.
So I thought it's a check mark on first box. Second, in terms of team members also, I had made a precondition to them that, all the shares, ESOPs, whoever has, they'll be crash vested and nobody will be fired, at least for the 2 years that we are here.
Yeah.
Third, I looked at it from my investor's point of view and our angel investor. I think the minute we raise money, it's your duty to return that money. It's almost on a fiduciary responsibility and you're on a treadmill, right? So I looked at it and I thought, this is what I'm doing. 2 years we'll scale. The valuation were offered was very, very good. I thought investors also made money and they also stood to make anywhere between 6 times to 20 times. So it was check mark there. And we as founders were also making a little bit of money. But for me, the real reason was that I thought I'm a good 0 to 1 operator. An okay 1 to 10 operator. 10 to 100 journeys मुझे bore कर देती हैं. Like I like 0 to 1 वाली जो भसड़ होती है, right?
Yeah.
And this was a perfect ending for at least my innings from where I was looking at it back then. कि यार हम almost X number पे हैं 100-150 मेरे को लगता है मैं कर पाऊंगा ऑनलाइन से वहां तक मैं चलाऊंगा. And then of course experts need to take over because then far better operators are required and processes are required which they'll continue to run. That was the reason why I decided to exit at that stage. So in 2023, finally, we exited the business.
So 21, the deal happened. 23, you exited. Is that
21, we had a 2-year.
And you only raised 1 round or you raised 2 rounds, right?
No, Angel and Series A is what we had done.
Yeah.
These guys were Series B. So
and how much had you diluted by then? By before
we still had about 60% with us.
Okay. And this is just you, the core team, right? That was there. And now, so first you sold it off in 2023 and very recently now you've gone back and said, मेरी company मुझे वापस करो. What was that about? मतलब कैसे वापस दिया कैसे उन्होंने? लिया कैसे? Like, is that why you joined the gym? What did happen?
इसलिए तो I made friends with you ना कि मुझे चाहिए लोग कि यार we have to do some dirty work. तो मुझे सारे bodybuilders बस थे. चला नहीं ना ये दिक्कत आया.
वो बीच में ना आलस आता है.
Correct. वही आलस से आ गया मुझे 18 इसीलिए.
Yeah.
So 23 से almost till about March this year I was out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, few things happened. If I can, because आपने पूछा personally and professionally.
Yeah. And before you get to that question, I did ask one more question, which is while you were exiting, logically, of course, there will also be an emotional journey. And I think now I have a better question, which is there's an emotional journey when you sold it. There's an emotional journey for the 2 years that you had to run it, but it was going, it's a baby that's leaving you. And then when you finally kind of walked out of that office, what were the emotional phases? Because, very rarely has this happened. So.
No, very tough. Even the decision to sell. Today, I can rationalize it in hindsight. But us waqt, I think, it was, I did, how I looked at it was, in this bargain, everybody wins, except for the founder and me. So founder and me died when I did that deal, And उसके बाद मैंने उसको बहुत तरीके से rationalize किया, ये grid बना के, intellectualize कर दिया उसको. But yes, it was very, and there were questions like this यार कि am I really, इतनी बातें करी हमने, female hygiene, country को change करेंगे, hygiene habits change करेंगे. And this opportunity came in, it was very good. Did I do it for money? And there were things like that. कि यार, I was questioning myself कि हाँ पैसे के लिए किया, 450 crore के आसपास में कंपनी बिक रही थी bros. It's life-changing money. And decision to sell it in the first time was a commercial decision. कितना भी मैं बोल लूँ वैसे. This is what it was. It was कि यार shit यार, my family leads a better life today. टीम के भी पैसे बन जाएंगे, सबके पैसे बन रहे हैं, एंड बिजनेस एक अच्छे हाथों में चला जाएगा. कौन मरेगा इसमें? लाइक फाउंडर, मेरी वो ड्रीम ही हो जाएगा कि अरे आई कुड हैव टेकन इट टू आईपीओ मे बी, और आई कुड हैव सोल्ड इट लेटर. So it was tough, and first few days were especially very difficult, because personally also I knew that I'll have to find something, because the day will come when from tomorrow you don't have nowhere to go. You might have money in the bank, but you have nowhere to go. तो मैंने 2 साल को ऐसे ब्रेक किया कि मैं सिर्फ नंबर्स चेस करता हूँ, और पर्सनली आई विल स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग इन स्टार्टअप्स एंड स्टार्ट हेल्पिंग देम ऑन द वीकेंड एटलीस्ट, सो दैट मैं डिस्ट्रैक्ट कर सकूँ अपने आप को. Second year I got more active towards that, so I invested in many startups and started giving them weekends at least, कि यार 0 to 1 जर्नी मुझे आती है, आई एम हैप्पी टू हेल्प यू नॉट मेक द सेम मिस्टेक्स. बट नवंबर 23 से 2-3 महीने तो बहुत मुश्किल थे, बिकॉज अब वो रियलिटी बन गया, राइट? कि एंड वो हमारे देश का अभिशाप है ना, बेटा क्या नाम है तुम्हारा और क्या करते हो? तो क्या नाम है? तो दीप बजाज है, वो तो माँ बाप ने दिया था. क्या करते हो मैं क्या बोलूँ अब?
सुबह जिम जाता हूँ.
मैं इन्वेस्टर हूँ स्टार्टअप्स में
वैसे,
और एग्जिटेड फाउंडर हूँ.
नहीं, लेकिन जनरली करते क्या थे? मतलब तो मैं सोचूं कि मेरे को कल काम ना हो, गॉड हेल्प मी, राइट? तो मैं सुबह उठूंगा,
ऐसे बोलते काम होना चाहिए, गॉड डोंट हेल्प मी ऑन दिस वन.
नहीं, सैलरी होनी चाहिए, काम करना है. तो कल सुबह उठूं मैं और ऐसे
ये जितने लोग देख रहे हैं ना पॉलिसी बाजार में,
वो उनकी प्रॉब्लम.
हमारा नेता कैसा हो,
ऐसा अब ये सब सुन रहे हैं. तो हम बैठे हैं ऐसे, मैं उठा, अब क्या करूं? जाऊं नहाऊं या नहीं नहाऊं, जिम जाऊं मैं क्या करूं? मतलब तो व्हाट, मतलब genuinely describe a day, and this is more for me, forget the podcast, but this is for me. ये क्या करता है?
नहीं यार, बहुत बड़ा टॉर्चर है, मैं आपको बता नहीं सकता हूँ. लगता बहुत फैंसी है शुरू में, बिकॉज क्या करोगे यार, मतलब, और हमारे केस में पैसे धीरे धीरे आए, तो वी वर केप्ट डूइंग one milestone to another milestone, and now all of a sudden on a Monday you don't need to get into your cape. तो कितने दिन आप बोल लोगे कि यार, एंड देन योर पेरेंट्स आल्सो लुकिंग एट यू, अच्छा आज भी घर है, कल भी घर है, मतलब किड्स, योर किड्स विल स्टार्ट आस्किंग, इट्स नॉट अबाउट पापा's home again today early again. And my daughter though asked also out of concern, do we have money now, you know, because her mother also works and she's a very very diligent worker, but you know, all of a sudden I'm home. But personally it takes a toll यार. नहीं, आप खाली नहीं बैठ सकते हो. मैं तो कई बार सोचता हूँ, ये अगेन ये मे बी हमारी जनरेशन का ही अभिशाप है. ये जो रिटायरमेंट की पूरी डेफिनेशन है बहुत फ्लॉड है यार. मैं आई कांट इमेजिन माई सेल्फ डूइंग दिस इवन एट 70. सो देन आई फाउंड मोर हैक्स. तो मैंने स्टार्टअप्स में टाइम देना शुरू किया, और वहाँ पे भी ये रियलाइज किया यार कि अगर आप एक, फॉर द लैक ऑफ राइट वर्ड्स, अगर आप एक अल्फा पर्सनैलिटी हो, राइट, सो यू आर द किंग ऑफ द जंगल. तो अब मैंने क्या, what I did is I started looking at some friends where I could invest and give them time. So I started giving them one time. But the minute you'll enter that office, you are the third fiddle, not even the second fiddle, right? The founder is the founder.
Now comes the most interesting part is, क्या हुआ था, क्या गॉसिप आई थी ऑफिस से कि भैया वापस आ जाओ, हम थक चुके हैं लोगों से. व्हाट इज दैट स्टोरी? कि कुछ तो आएगा ना, कोई तो आके कान में बोल के गया हो ना, यार दीप यार, ये ना अच्छा नहीं लगा हम लोगों ने, तू वापस आया, तू ही अच्छा था, राइट? तू हमारा बॉस था.
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ यार, रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं बोल सकता.
हाँ, मैं तो बोल सकता हूँ.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं बोलता. तो हुआ, आई थिंक, मेरे को लगता है अगर बात मैनिफेस्टेशन की है ना, आई थिंक आई मस्ट हैव ओनली मैनिफेस्टेड इट बैक. बट अगर प्रैक्टिकल वाला बताऊं तो वही 4 क्वाड्रेंट्स में, कस्टमर्स वर सफरिंग, टीम वॉज सफरिंग, इन्वेस्टर ऑफ कोर्स, क्या वी वर ओनली द इन्वेस्टेड इन बिजनेस, एंड इट केम विद इन माई 0 to 1 स्कोप अगेन. इट केम बैक टू अ प्लेस वेयर आई थ्राइव. आज जब अपॉर्चुनिटी आई जहां मैं आई कुड हैव वॉक द टॉक, तो मैं सिर्फ ये बोलूँ कि नहीं यार, माई मनी इज आउट, आई एम आउट, तो फिर शायद मेरे लिए मुश्किल होता. बट when the opportunity presented itself, to prove that it wasn't just about the money, I genuinely wanted my customers and team to benefit. And today, if what they are not benefiting, I'll buy the brand back.
So what happened then? You decided that, you and Mohit both decided that, you know, it is time to just take it back. हम लेंगे अब now.
Yeah, we spoke to the team, core team. Luckily, core team was there. So they said, हाँ यार, अगर आओगे तो खेलेंगे फिर से. I think my way of leading it is very simple. Team is just an extension of you. We are the same. The biggest moat that you have is the team. Product is never the moat. मेरे को लगता है कि किसी को भी अगर बिजनेस शुरू करना है ना, इन 4 चीज़ों के लिए तो प्रिपेयर्ड रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि इन 4 में सब हो जाता है. सबसे पहले वो 1000 डेज चाहिए. कोई भी धंधा सेट करने के लिए 1000 डेज का कमिटमेंट चाहिए. फुल टाइम धंधे पार्ट टाइम नहीं बनते. So that's one. And second, I love to say कि यार, you know, there is अगर कुछ इनोवेटिव करे तो एनालिसिस पैरालिसिस से दूर रहो. Number 3, I love to say that, you know, there are energy vampires, इनसे दूर रहो. ये बहुत ही
Yeah, I know
अलग
that story.
जानवर हैं,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
जीव हैं जो आपके straw डाल के energy suck कर लेते हैं. And number 4 is यार, you know, for these 1000 days, try to have very low expectation in terms of monies are concerned.
Yeah.
एंड 1000 डेज में यही सब होता है. प्रोडक्ट कॉपी भी होते हैं, आपका कंपटीशन आएगा आपसे कम, मे बी बिल्कुल कॉपी भी हो सकता है, एंड दे विल गेट मोर फंडिंग. बिकॉज दे विल गेट मोर फंडिंग, दे विल बी एबल टू मे बी, यू नो, ट्राई टू पोच, they'll try to poach your teams. And yeah, all happens there, and I think it's all happened with us also in the journey.
Yeah. But do you also come across founders, and I know of some, where they completely and somehow lose interest, or for that time they're not, it's like, you know, in writing you have a writer's block, right? Have you come across it? Have you had times where you just didn't know what to do next?
Yeah.
Or and so what do you do? Like how do you kind of get back into the game?
So कुछ अपने अपने hacks बनाने होते हैं यार. So there are days when you're positive, there are days when you're negative. Because of this energy vampire framework, how I look at it is, if there's somebody because of whom I'm low, then I try to just distance as much as I can. Another thing that I do is, and I've been doing it for the last 5-6 years, every day one good thing happens and I write it. यार हर रोज कुछ एक चीज अच्छी होती है. So I end my day by writing good thing of the day. And if the day is really tough and I can't fix it, then I just take a break and I go back to this list and say, यार जैसे ये चीजें और ये सब होते रहे, and you know, one thing led to another, ये phase भी निकल जाएगा. But other than that, there is no other way.
I think that's a very good one.
Yeah.
One thought for the day, one thing that made you happy, one good thing that happened.
One good thing of the
which
day.
you can just go back and say कि यार देख,
हो रही है ना progress.
Yeah.
Today is a tough day. Like it's also beautiful dialogue from MS धोनी का एक सीन था, अगर आपने मूवी देखी है. So there is this, हाँ 3 बार. So उसका वो scene, I just love it. There are times when I've just watched it on YouTube. So it's a scene where Dhoni is sitting at the platform and then he's talking to the station master. Station master आता है कि इतना हताश क्यों बैठे हो? And he says, क्या सर, रणजी पे रणजी खेले जा रहे हैं, ना गेम इंप्रूव हो रही है, ना कुछ, यहाँ ट्रेन के पीछे भागे जा रहे हैं. You know, कई बार तो लगता है यार कि जब घर जाते हैं तो लगता है कि 0 पे आउट होकर पेविलियन वापस लौट रहे हैं. And as founders, I believe there are so many days where you're in that thought.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, I'm like, dude, I mean, is this right? But I think what he says after that, if you implement it in your life becomes easy यार. तो वो बोलते हैं ना उसको कि यार, अच्छा एक बात बताओ कि जब तुम खेल रहे होते हो तो अगर full toss ball आए तो क्या करोगे? तो he said, I'll go for a pull. And he says, if you get a bouncer, what will you do?
Yeah.
एक unplayable bouncer आएगी तो क्या करोगे? And he says, then I'll duck.
Yeah.
तो he said, हाँ तो बस यही तो लाइफ है ना. 6 balls हैं यार. You know, अगर ओवर के अंदर 6 balls हैं तो हर बॉल तो सेम आएगी नहीं.
Yeah.
So at times it's also about just staying in the game and let the, you know, rotation happen.
The one thing that I find missing in a lot of the conversations that are happening, and which is why I think that founders such as yourselves need to come up and speak a lot more, right? Is because the job is emotionally draining.
Yeah.
It is not always that you're in control. The one thing that good founders versus not so good founders, right, are those who have the ability to handle ambiguity all the time.
Correct.
80% of your job is ambiguity, 20% is definite. That 20% which is definite, you don't even like it. That's the reality of the whole situation. And I think that more and more people have to kind of get there. And the one part that I do want to kind of steer this conversation to is, हम लोग बीमा बेचते हैं, right? हमारा इंश्योरेंस हमारा काम है. But now it may be boring to a lot of people. But for us, it is you're sold it, right? But it's very interesting to me. And the part that I have never understood is, जैसे when you have a baby, when you have anything which is very very close to you, you always insure, right? कुछ भी हो.
Correct. Yeah.
But are people doing that in businesses? Like in startups, you know, there's so many scares, right? Something might happen.
Yeah.
Somebody might do a case on you.
Correct.
You've got a product, right? That product is a hygiene product.
Correct.
Are people thinking on those lines, or are you too preoccupied? And if that is the scene, how do you get to the founders and tell them, listen, there are certain parts that you can protect? Now, insurance is one little capsule, right, which can help you. But there are other things that happen, right? Things could go wrong with investors. There are some good ones, some not so good ones. You know, what is debt? What is... There is no master class.
Correct.
But how do, as you as a founder, were you always scared of a few things? Did you want to protect yourself against them? Did insurance come into your mind? Did you...
Yeah. I think यहाँ तो products नहीं है यार. I think I would love for more customized products to be available, or at least to be made known.
Yeah.
For example, अगर contracts हैं, so US, of course, if people get into contracts, there are policies which will cover the you know, that both the parties will see through their end of the bargain, and if one defaults, the other person will at least be compensated against. And I hope and I pray that very soon products like that are available so that transactions can go on very smooth. In our case also there was a little bit of ups and downs. Luckily for us, we got the brand back, so we're good. But do I think about it all the time? And I think in our case, we were amongst the first ones to start looking at all the ways to see. All we're trying to do, it's a risk. Startup life is risky.
Yeah.
Startup makes it riskier. And your only job is to de-risk, right? As a founder, what would strategies do? हमारे केस में हम स्ट्रैटेजी बनाते हैं, क्यों बनाते हैं? हम स्केल कर रहे हैं, एक पर्टिकुलर स्केल पे पेस कर रहे हैं, इस पेस पे स्केल कर रहे हैं. दिस स्ट्रैटेजी विल इंश्योर दैट वी कीप ग्रोइंग सो दैट वी डोंट फॉल. व्हाट इज द फॉल? फॉल इज द रिस्क.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that attitude has to be in everything. So you de-risk your employees leaving, you de-risk your products from malfunctioning, you de-risk from contracts going bad. And for me, I think insurance has to be looked at a similar way. You have warehouses. Tomorrow, if there's a fire, you're over. Despite your best, have you de-risked against that? Like, is there a strategy for it?
Yeah.
Like, what's the strategy if tomorrow there's fire? There is, the only strategy right now can be I need to insure it.
Yeah.
Right? So, of course, at our end, initially तो because जब हम पहली बार फंडिंग के वर्ल्ड में घुसे तो DNO,
Debt officers policy.
थैंक यू, फुल मार्क्स. सो वो DNO उन्होंने बोला तो वहाँ से DNO के बारे में पता लगा. जब DNO आया, then when we started selling internationally, थोड़ा बहुत so product liability का पता लगा. So we took product liability that if heavens forbid, because कई बार ना यार, it's not even your fault. अब आपका प्रोडक्ट है, सारी इंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं उसके ऊपर. इफ यू डोंट एंड अप यूजिंग इट करेक्टली, इफ समथिंग हैपेंस फॉर सम बिकॉज ऑफ समबडी एल्सेस फॉल्ट आल्सो, द पर्सन कैन कम आफ्टर यू. योर जॉब इज टू डी रिस्क. सो टू प्रोडक्ट लाइबिलिटी, इंटरनेशनल प्रोडक्ट लाइबिलिटी ऑल्सो वी टुक. Warehouses, of course, ये तो बहुत ही बेसिक है. Transit, I have so many times seen with my wife because she's into carpets business. So warehouse में carpet बनाए, आ रहा है रास्ते में, ट्रक के एक्सीडेंट नहीं होते हैं. मैंने ट्रक जलते हुए देखे हैं. Right? So should you have transit insurance? You absolutely should. Or इसलिए नहीं है because I'm talking to you. These are things that we already have.
Yeah.
These are live and running. But do I believe in it? Absolutely. You as founders are only de-risking the business. यार, हमारा वही role है.
No, the problem and I think this is another. You're building a D2C brand, but the challenge I'm facing now, because you also have a B2B brand, is how do you reach out to a lot of people? Now, there are two segments. There's a segment which is small medium enterprise. Now,
Correct.
they actually are far more known to try and understand and find a product like you're talking about, right? And then there's the large corporate. The problem with larger companies or companies which have grown very quickly is they know how to de-risk. They don't know where to find it.
Correct.
And in my case, I don't know how to reach out to these people. So I think there is this gap.
There is a huge gap.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying a lot of this will actually not come from me. It will actually come from founders such as yourselves which have de-risked their business in the past. Some of them see it as, dekhi jayegi is a huge problem in India. Right?
Correct.
You look at anything else. Like you had the foresight to patent your product before you even started.
Yeah, correct.
Right? Others are like, who's going to get into this business? मैं चला लूंगा, हो जाएगा.
पता नहीं होता तरुण, मैं आपको बताता हूँ, चैलेंज है, लोगों को पता नहीं है. अगर आप आज मुझे बोलो कि मे बी एन आइडिया कुड बी नेशनल एडवर्टाइजिंग फ्रॉम योर लेंस, बिकॉज आज हर कोई कम से कम एक ऐसे बंदे को जानता है, कम से कम, जिसने माल किसी को दिया और उसके पैसे नहीं आ रहे. कम से कम एक को आप जानते हो किसी भी शेप एंड फॉर्म में. आपकी ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर में ही हुआ होगा, बट या कहीं और हुआ होगा वैसे. So all we need is to know that today all it takes is, let's say, 2 मिनट के लिए, just for a sake of, कि 1 करोड़ के कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल ऑब्लिगेशन कवर करने से 20 रुपए लगते हैं. जैसे हमने पर्सनल एक्सीडेंटल इंश्योरेंसेस के बारे में अवेयरनेस फैलाई कि लेट्स से इन 15 रुपए यू कैन डू इट, और 20 रुपए यू कैन डू इट एवरी डे. वन विल हैव टू, आई मीन दैट लेवल ऑफ अवेयरनेस व्हेन इट स्टार्ट्स, पीपल वुड टेक इट. आई बिलीव व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज करेक्ट. इफ वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट 6-7 years ago, इन द सेंस कि यार लोगों के बीच में ना ये चलता हुआ एटीट्यूड ज़्यादा है. आज एक बहुत ही छोटी सी, पिछले 8-10 साल में मैंने ऑडियंस आते हुए देखी है जो कहते हैं मुझे प्रोडक्ट दे दो, आई एम विलिंग टू ट्राई. देयर आर मोर takers than we imagine. I think what is lacking is, you're right. I think there is strong lack of awareness around it. I think it should become part of funding agreements.
Yeah.
Some of these need to be part of it. यार कि आप कोई भी agreement करो, करा लो ना, एक broad cover ले लो, around it. बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें यार where I think we need to still de-risk. यार my job is only to de-risk. यार I'm only de-risking my shareholders and my employees and my team. और क्या कर रहा हूँ?
Especially as you move on, as growth happens, then you have to kind of make sure that your base is solid. And I think you're right. I think somewhere feedback for us is, how do we kind of promote this more and more? How do we make people aware that all these policies exist, all these solutions exist? And if there is no solution, our expertise is to find one.
Correct.
Right. So it can be a consulting project where we find out, okay, what is the exact need and how we work on it. And now, where do you want to now? Where are you heading now? What's the plan now? Is the plan
With मैं
IPO?
घर
Is
जा
the
रहा हूँ
plan
यार.
how aaj shaam ko? Because now you've done a hard day's job,
Correct.
right? But I'm saying,
Uh,
where does Sirona head to now?
yeah.
What are you planning? Where do you think now you want to take it? And you said very interesting. You said I'm back to my 0 to 1. But of course, your company is still at quite a juncture, right? The brand's quite famous. You've done it you've done it once before, so you have a chance to erase some and do it. But the real question is it a 10-year journey? Is it a 20-year journey? What now will we see in the coming days?
Yeah, because I love 0 to 1 and 1 to 10. I believe I just want to take it to the level where I think we can very comfortably take it now. At the time of selling, I thought that we could do 100 crores online, which we did, touch wood, and we exited. Now I think the market has opened up, especially because of quick commerce, so much
Yeah.
of awareness. Last mile connectivity has been improved by so many partners. I think doing 500 crores in this category would be
Wow.
understating it. And to me, that is 0 to 1. At best, I could say 1 to 10 stage. So I have my eyes only there right now that I think I can scale it till there. And I would love to try my best to just take it there. That's what we're trying to do. We'd love to keep solving unaddressed feminine hygiene issues.
I think that's all the questions I have. I have a lot more,
Sure.
but I think that would require one more episode. I will invite you in because what I understood today was what I got you here for was very different reason. What I am taking back very very different. I think that getting to a startup is actually easier. Uh, really running it is far difficult. Leaving it is crushing.
Correct.
Taking it back is invigorating. And with all of that you've gone through, I think I'm very excited to see where you kind of take the brand. And we've also seen a lot of phases in our life, in our careers at Policybazaar, and uh, they're scary. They're scarily similar, right? Because what a lot of people believe is that there is an end at IPO, right? And I often say this: it was not an end. It's just another beginning.
Correct.
It's like let's say you're going and you're attacking another country, and a new force just joins you. It's just that, but you're still attacking. You still have a lot to do, and that journey always explains that if you're passionately in love with what you do,
Yeah.
you will kind of
Yeah.
die
Find a way
with
to-
your boots on just doing that. And if any founder was to take any inspiration from you, I think every part of you is that.
Oh, come
And
on.
I think no, I genuinely feel far closer to you in that respect. I would like to learn from you, is because you spoke about Dandapani, you spoke about yourself, you spoke about your own services. It means that you're trying to better yourself. And I think in our journeys, as we carry on, that's the only thing that we can do. And in the founding community, we were not sexy back in 2008, 2010, 2012, right? Today, being a startup founder means a lot. But I don't think anybody starts up for that purpose. And I know a lot of people do. They say never invest in FOMO. They say never leave your jobs in FOMO. And that reality, I think, has to dawn on them. And over time, people will understand that it's not just about creating company, raising funds, exiting. It's about creating your unique brand, your personal brand, your company's brand, and how you can add value to the whole system.
No, yeah, I think the only thing I'd request for is, one thing is to do a startup because everybody is doing it. And another is to do it because you genuinely believe in what you're building. I think always do it for that reason. And after that, all the other things that people say, that you have to be from a pedigreed background, you have to come from money, you have to get investors, you have to get team, all that gets figured out on the way. If and I'm a classic example. There's no classy schools, no pedigree, and no family money. But Touchwood ended up creating a little bit of value for everybody in the journey. So just start it for the right reasons. Rest, learn from my dear friend Tarun here.
There's very little to learn from me and a lot to learn from there. The fact that it takes nothing, there is no precursor to be able to succeed, is exemplified by this individual. He's made a brand out of basically thin air, or pee, so to speak. And that's a journey that must have taken a lot of conversations, must have taken a lot of hard work, must have taken a lot of imagination. And that is what is really important to be a founder. I think when you watch this episode in its entirety, you will learn from almost every answer that Deep has given, because he's talking about real world things. He's not talking about how his degrees helped him, which he didn't have, or from the school which taught him the basics, but did nothing to prepare him for what he's actually come and built. So there is no precursor. If you do have a product or you have a service that you think can do better for the community, for the country, for a certain set of people, for the unfortunate, then it's time that you actually did something about it. There are multiple ways to do it. You can do it on the side, you can do it as a whole hog, but eventually you have to chase your dreams, and not because, like Deep said, not because you really want to just do a startup. Do it because the idea works for you, or the idea grows on you and it grows big on you. With that, I wish you, your startup, your venture, your job, your project, all the very best, and keep watching. We will get some more.